merely about the Great Commission. Have we said the Great Commission? Thank you, ushers. It is always good that when you're involved in anything, to know the real purpose. Too many believe that the church is an entertainment center and that the preacher is an entertainer. Too many people believe that the church is a racket and that the preacher is a racketeer. I flew one day to Grand Rapids, Michigan, to one of the largest bookstores in the nation to find some books on the church. Because since I am a part of it, I wanted to know all I could know about God's church. As I moved from aisle to aisle, picking up one book after the other that had church as a subject, I went to the counter with two arms loaded with books. But right before I got ready to check out, the Holy Spirit said, if you really want to know about the church, talk to the one that built it. And the one that built the church can tell you what his intents are for the church. You know who the builder is. Matthew 16:18, upon this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. I hear people say, I'm not in this church business. You don't have to go to church to be saved. It is true, you don't have to go to church to be saved. But if you are saved, you go to church. I wanted to know about what his mandate was for the church, because there are too many secret and silent disciples that we say we love the Lord, but we don't practice what we preach. I was in California this past week. I've been there 4 times this year. A friend of mine had the privilege of going to a house, open house at the Golden State Warriors, the championship team in the NBA industry. He said while there, he said he was so excited to go because he thought that when he went there, that the players would come out and greet them and take pictures with them. So while sitting there waiting on them to come out, they finally came out, and each one walked up to the mic one by one and testified about how good God had been to them and how they were all sold out to Jesus Christ. And that Steph, remember that they tried to sign him on a football, a tennis deal. And he said, I will not sign if you don't put on the tennis. I can do all things through Christ which strengtheneth me. And after they had finished using the mic, all of them went out into the bleachers and started witnessing to the spectators about Jesus Christ. It could be the reason they still champions. Because when you have God as your backing, you're going to always be on the winning team. I think we have too many saved folk not satisfied with testifying for the Lord. We say we love him, but we don't want to expose who we are. When we go out to dinner for prayer, we secretly thank God for the food. We place a napkin over our mouth so no one will see us pray. But if you know him and know who he is, you should never be ashamed to own him. Y'all hear me, don't you? So I needed to know what his assignment was for the church as a whole, because you don't have to be a rocket scientist to know that our world is in a turmoil. Anytime you live in a city that has 1,200 black churches in it, and over 200 people every year get shot out and killed, and they look like us. Too many times we have an advertisement on the sign, but we're out of business. What sense does it make to have a sign that says steaks for sale, and when you walk in the place, they're out of steaks? Y'all don't like me. If this is a church, we ought to practice what we preach. And if we're not practicing what we preach, we need to take down the sign and go in business and do something else. The Bible said, and Jesus came and spake unto them. Remember, he has just risen from the dead. He came now, been missing for 3 days in the grave. He's up now. And he come and he approached his disciples. And the Bible says he spoke and said, all power, exousia, it's the Greek word for power. It means authority. Jesus said, I have the authority. And what I watched about Jesus is, before he delegate authority, he demonstrate authority. Before he made the statement, say, I've got all power, he went around showing his power. He goes to Jairus' house. He walked in the room. A little girl is dead. He laid his hands on her and said, dazzle, arise. He go to Nain, where a woman's son has just died. Lay his hand on the bier and tell the boy to get up. He walked to the grave of Lazarus and just call him by his name. Lazarus, come forth. Lazarus, get up. He said, loose him and let him go. He go to a wedding, the wine is out, and he speak and the water became wine. He go to the Jericho road, a man that's blind. He say, you can see. And the blind man see, he is demonstrating his authority. 10 lepers come to him and said, make us clean. He said, go show yourself to the priest. And on their way, they are cleansed. Preach, Reverend Ray. Woman having an issue of blood, he slowed down enough for her to touch the hem on the hem. The H-E-M hem that's wrapped around the H-I-M hem, and her body is made whole. He demonstrated his authority. Before you brag about something, be able to bag what you say. That's what Muhammad Ali used to do. He said, I float like a butterfly. He said, I sting like a bee. He said, what's my name? Y'all ain't gonna help me in this house. Be able to bag up what you say. Some people are nothing but mouth. They do nothing but talk. But when can you walk, you talk. The Bible said Jesus, he demonstrated his authority. He said, all power has been given unto me. Too many folk think that the power is in other things. Matter of fact, the devil try to make you think he got power. The devil, he's a user. He ain't got no power himself. He used what you got. If he want to come to the pulpit, he'll thumb a ride with me. If he want to tell a lie, he use my mouth. Talk to me, somebody. He used other folks. He lost all of his power at Calvary. He ain't nothing but now just mouth. That's all he do is keep up a lot of noise. If you learn how to submit to the Lord, resist the devil, he takes a flight. He go find his next victim. He said, all power has been given unto me. The exousia. But then it says in Matthew 16:18, upon this rock I'll build my church. The Greek word is ekklesia. Compound word, ex means exit. That every one of us that's saved, we're saved because we have been exit out of something. In other words, you sit next to an ex. I know we want to act like we've been saved all our lives, but you ain't been holy all your life. Some of us ain't too holy right now. We got good disguises, but if somebody push you the wrong way, the real you come out. I was just waiting for that old you to show back up, because that old you will show up. Do I have a witness in this house? He exousia, the church, ecclesia. Ek means ex, out. Second part word kaleo means to be called. We were exit out of something, but called into something. And God get his exousia, which is his authority, places it behind his ecclesia, which is his church. That means I got backing. He has the authority, but he also has the ability to delegate. That means he wants to send me on a mission to do work for him. Y'all don't like that. He makes that clear before you leave Genesis 1:26. And God said, let us make man in our image, which means man is an extension of the presence of God. After our likeness, man is an expression of the person of God, which means I need to look like God. But then let him have dominion. Man is an exhibit of the power of God. In other words, you need to favor your daddy. Y'all ain't saying nothing. I mean, you need to look like, if you don't look like your daddy, maybe a dead cat on the line somewhere. favor the one that produced you. God got all power, and since he got all power, he has given it to Jesus, and Jesus has delegated that power to us. That means I don't need to run when I run into a sinner, because God has given me the power to speak life into something dead. When a person is unsaved, they're spiritually dead. You ain't saying nothing, but I know I'm preaching. He says all power. He gives the authority, places it behind the church, which means the church can do two things. It can direct, but it can destroy. It can direct divine authority. That's what prayer is. Prayer is directing divine authority. Prayer adds, prayer multiplies, prayer divides. It adds power to the saint. It divides the power of the devil. I wish I had some help in this house. In other words, prayer confused the devil. That's why he try to keep you off your knees. If he keep you off your knees, he'll stay in your house. But if you ever learn how to spend time on your knees, the devil would know he ain't welcome in your house, because there's power in prayer. But got any help in this? Songwriter said, I get great constellation when I pray. I get strength on my journey when I pray. When I kneel in prayer, the Lord will meet me there. I get joy, unspeakable joy when I pray. Prayer will change things. Prayer will change situations. Prayer will change circumstances. But prayer will change the prayer. You can't keep praying and remain the same. If you keep praying, all the stuff you used to worry about will take flights and start going away. You can't be depressed and pray. If you pray, depression got to leave. Talk to me. If you're depressed, you ain't praying. If you pray amiss, which means you're praying and don't believe what you're saying. But when you believe what you're saying and believe in the one that told you to do it, stand back and watch what my God can do. It directs divine authority. But the church can destroy demonic authority, which means the devil can't hang around churches that's praying. Oh, I wish the saints of Salem would catch on to prayer. We miss so many opportunities by not showing up for prayer. You see, he makes it clear, and I got to go on. He said, when you pray, he should pray after this manner, our Father. In other words, he make this prayer a public situation. You see, my little prayer by itself going up might be a little weak, but when you add your prayer to my prayer, it gets a little stronger. When all of us start praying for the same thing, it's hard for the prayer not to make it, because your prayer gonna help my prayer get to where it needs to be. He said, when you pray, he said your prayer should be horizontal before it's vertical. In other words, it must go out to your brother before it go up to God. He says, say out. That means God don't just have one child. He got a whole lot of children. He said, I'm going to delegate my authority. Who am I going to delegate it? He said, to my disciples. And Jesus came, spake unto them, said, all power has been given unto me. Now, if Jesus got all power, that means the devil can't have none. You running from somebody that ain't got no power. I mean, you just going everywhere running, talking about I'm trying to beat the devil running. What you running for? He ain't got no power. Devil do little stupid stuff. Ephesians 6 and 11, put on the whole armor of God that you may be able to stand against the wiles. The Greek word is methodeus, where you get the word method. The devil got some methods. The word methodeus means with a road. That means the devil is running up and down a road. He's trying to find something or somebody he can attack. Here's what the devil do. He watch you when you start backing up with God. You know, you used to pray every morning, now you pray once a week. He's watching you. When you used to come to church every Sunday, now you come every now and then. He's watching you. When you used to sit up front, now you sit all the way in the back. He's watching you. You used to pray every time you go to bed. Now you just jump up in bed and don't sit down. And when he see you at your weakest stage, that's when he launches his great attack. Because you can't be victorious when you're weak. I wish I had two witnesses of that. When you're strong, how many know when you're strong, the devil don't bother you? He will usurp you and go around to somebody else, try to get them to get to you. 1 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 18. Paul said, I would have come a long time before now, but Satan hindered me. Greek word is incomptu. It means to elbow you out of the race. I just thought I'd just talk to y'all today. Y'all ain't, I'm trying to convince y'all I can preach. He elbowed you out of the race. You on a race, and then you get mad at somebody else. You say, don't blame me. The devil elbowed you because you've been slack and sluggish with God. But when you surrender to him, do I have a witness? All power has been given unto me. And watch this, in heaven and in earth. He said, listen, the devil ain't got no power nowhere. He don't have none on earth. He ain't got none in heaven. Jesus, I got all power. Then he says in verse 19, go. If you're making notes, write down evangelize. You see, we get the wrong concept about winning souls for Christ. We think you need to go to a project and knock on doors at a project because we just know folks in project ain't saved. And we go there. No. The word go doesn't mean that. It means as you go. You see, your soul winning is not a Saturday event. It's a lifestyle. You always say, it's not something you do on occasions. It's something you do every day. When you are an evangelist, when you're out at a restaurant, you ask the waitress, do you know Jesus? Have you accepted him as your Lord and Savior? When you're on the plane ride and got somebody sitting next to you, say, listen, do you know who Jesus is? Because you see, we witness two ways, with lifestyle and with lips. Because he says in Matthew chapter 5, verse 13, we're the salt of the earth. You know what salt do? Salt flavor stuff. You can't be saved and stay mad every day. Every time somebody step on your toe, you got to cuss them out. You ain't gonna never win nobody that way. When you're in the midst of folk, you flavor the situation. In other words, you change the whole atmosphere. When you walk in, you see bitterness, hatred, lying, and stealing. But when you get in, something happened because you ain't just anybody, you're a saved brother. You're the salt of the earth. But but you're the light of the world. What that mean? That means everywhere you go, somebody's looking at you. Y'all ain't saying nothing in this house. Folks watch you when you don't know they watching you. Whole lot of times I want to laugh. Stuff be going on so funny out here, I want to laugh. But I ain't about to frown, laugh, or nothing, because y'all watch my eyebrows, eyelids when they go up and down. Y'all watch everything about me. Y'all know when I wear the same pair of socks and all that kind of stuff. So I got to be on my best behavior at all times. Well, God bless you. We're out of time, but you can see we're certainly not out of message. I hope you have been blessed while listening to just a portion of this sermon entitled The Great Commission. It is a message that, of course, the Lord left with us before he caught the cloud to go back to be with his Father. You need a copy of this message. You need to get it so you can listen to it again and again. And, of course, you can do that. Just go to God is Good Ministry.